you know how it goes. I just can't leave enough alone, and so I went ahead and just started working and really have cleaned this up a lot. Still have to continue. I've went at a 60 grit and then at an 80, and we'll just continue. There's little small spots that we'll end up smoothing out, but a long way from where it was, and it's really looking nice. I still wish that, you know, you've got these little nail holes in here. You know, one of those things, you're just not going to get them out. There's still some areas that still need to be filled in a little bit more. If we go back, yeah, I'm seeing some little gaps here that we can get, but also in here, I mean, that's tight, but let's go ahead and get that a little tighter. Otherwise, I'm really pleased with how this is turning out. Got some little humps here. Little different look, but putting that combing on there, we probably won't see that at all. But it seems to be pretty uniform. So I like what I'm seeing. Sorry this was a little extra, but thanks a lot for joining us and staying with us. We'll catch you next week. Hey, and welcome back to the channel. One of the things that I did earlier today, you know, we've been sanding this down, and you can probably see some little spots in here. But one of the things that I did is I did go out and purchase some denatured alcohol. So this is kind of like the last cleanse that you would do. But the other part about it is, by putting denatured alcohol on here, and it dries really quick, but you're going to be able to see where those flaws are in your sanding, and that'll be allow you to then make any additional adjustments before you go ahead and put in or you finalize and get on your fiberglass. So you can kind of see that in this area right here that I'm seeing a little bit of glue, and those will be just some areas that we'll take and look at a little bit further. Some of these areas here, some glue marks here too, and we'll just continue to sand this until we're comfortable with the outcome. Little spots here, because once you stop sanding and you put that fiberglass on, any of that's going to be locked in your finish. So just take a lot of time with it. I'm going to continue to kind of work on this, and I'll continue to go down continue to go up with higher grade sandpaper. One of the things that I am also seeing, I've got some little gaps here, but I still need to come in and put some more epoxy on and sand those some more. But I'm getting real happy with the finish here, and I'm just going to get the sander out and I'm going to start sanding some more. We are really moving ahead on this. I'm now at 150 grit sandpaper. Really is, I've done isopropyl or denatured alcohol on all of this. There's a few areas like you're seeing this right here, but actually that just blends in just fine once you put that denatured alcohol on. So I know I said that I was finished with the deck on here, but I just couldn't leave well enough alone. I ended up just taking and putting some more thickened epoxy in on those little areas that I saw the little spots in. So I'm just going to go back over and re-sand these one more time, and then I think we'll just lay on some fiberglass from here. I'm just going to lay it on. I'll cut it. I'm not going to do anything with it, but let's go ahead and finish sanding these out, and we should be good to go. Well, as you could probably tell, I was changing those discs a lot, and then I found out that this hasn't fully cured. So I need to let it dry a lot more before we get in here and start finishing the sanding. But for those areas that I did, it did come out nice and smooth. Those were probably the very first ones that I had even started on. So we're good from that standpoint. I do think what I am going to do is I may just drape some cloth across this, some fiberglass, just to kind of get the feel for it, and maybe do some trimming. But that's what we'll end up doing right now. How nice this is going to lay down here. I'm not going to do too much because I would normally probably cut this all off, but because we're going to peel this back and sand those areas and make it nice again and make sure that it's all clean, I won't spend any time on it. The one thing that I did do is I had a choice because it looked like there just wasn't enough material. There is enough material if we start taking a look at some of these little segments here. So I was just going to have both of them so that we would have to cover a little bit. What I've done is I just thought, okay, we'll just do one where we're going to have the total amount that's going to cover without any problems. And then what we'll end up doing is we'll have the other kayak. It may be about here that we may have to feather in. So it'll just be feathering in an area, which, you know, could make this a little bit more stronger. But we'll just have to do a little bit more epoxy work on the back on that. So, and you know, it could just be whether it's here or whether it's here, whatever the easiest is to do, that's what we'll end up doing it. But I think this is laying really nice, and of course I got out that just to make sure that we had it. So I think we'll just not do anything else from here, although I could trim that out, and that would at least give us a little bit of room. I think that's what I'll do, is I'll trim this out a little bit so that it's, and then we could even trim it further more as we get into this. But I'm just going to take some scissors and cut through it. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It is a Saturday evening, and I thought what I'd do is come out here, and although it's still a little warm, but it's really nice, we're gonna come out here and do the top epoxy and fiberglass, the top of one kayak. We're gonna do this all. Looks like I probably only have enough for one more. So we're going to go ahead and just start this, and we're going to start from the center and come out, trim as we need to, do a lot of squeegeeing to make sure that the sides here are nice and smooth, trim where we need to. The other part is we're going to take and roll as we go as well, because we want this to be buried and we want it to be smooth as possible. So let's get at it. So that does it. We have got the initial coat on the deck. Boy, the floor is sticky. I'm real happy with what has come of the very first coat. I was able to get this here done. There's going to be a lot of work on feathering, but all in all, it's looking really good. I'm really happy with it. Gonna move everything back in and let it dry. I do have, so I am gonna have to put another coat on all of this. Probably 2 more coats. And I just don't believe I have enough material. I may try to weigh it. Oh, there seems to be a little enough in there. So the process may be, I do have to watch out because I'll fiberglass stuff to the ground because there's some puddles here, some decent puddles. I'll have to think about this. Maybe I was thinking about going and picking up some more of that, but I don't know. Gosh, I just don't know at this particular point. So this is going to be it for today. We'll jump back out here tomorrow. We'll take a look at it. We may sand some of this, start feathering. So we've come in this morning to take the first look, and it is dry. As you can see, there's some shiny spots and some that aren't. We do have some fiberglass that have been sealed down to the ground. But as you can also tell, this is, and you can see the little ripples. We still got a lot of work to do on this to seal. But it's looking good. We do need to come in here and do a little work on where it is. I did that on purpose yesterday. But feathering this in, we need to do a lot of sanding on that. The one thing I do want to do is make sure that we get all of the sharp, anything that's sharp on these, because these things will cut you. They'll cut you really deep. But I like it. It looks good. Probably getting it out in the light is going to help quite a bit. Then we can see what we need to do. But one of the things let's do right off the bat is let's just take, and we're going to clean the area up and then get in here and trim out both the hatch and the cockpit here. And then we'll take and probably run a sander over everything so we can get all of those high points off. Definitely want to do around these trim here to make sure we don't get any cuts there as well. But seem to be, I'm pretty happy with where it's got. We've got these, where the paintbrush kind of got in there. But also want to check to see. Yeah, it's now a little bit heavier, but still not too bad. Well, I thought I'd get some gloves on. One, I'm still finding some areas that may not have had the hardener on the resin. But I'm just taking a semi-sharp utility knife. Just going to take a little sandpaper. Doesn't take much to cut this down because it's really pretty thin. But this will again take off those sharp edges. That laid down really well. Definitely will have to get in on the sides when we start